Welcome to Beyond the Huddle, a Central Arkansas FCA podcast where faith meets competition. Join host Josh Adair and Zach Rose as they dive into real stories from athletes, coaches, and leaders making an eternal impact through sports. Each episode brings powerful conversations on faith, leadership, and living boldly for Christ in every field of play and walk of life. This is Beyond the Huddle.
Welcome, everybody, to the FCA Beyond the Huddle podcast, Fellowship of Christian Athletes here in Central Arkansas, where faith meets competition. My name is Josh Adair, here with our host, Zach Rose, and our guest for today, jumping right into it, is Claire Hill. So, Claire, welcome. So glad that you're here.
Hey, how's it going?
So great, Claire. Claire is some of the people that we try and to build our team around. FCA is prevalent with guys, but to reach more of our audience and to be open to all athletes, we need more females on our team. And Claire fills that role and is here to toot that horn and make it loud and clear for the world to know about women's ministry and girls' Bible studies and team devotionals and all those things. So, with that said, Zach, you ain't got anything to go for us?
You wanted a unique intro, and if you're not watching this, if you're not watching it and don't see the camera view right now, Josh, he's kind of reminiscent of Dave Ramsey on his talk show. He got the headset on. He's ready to go. So just throwing that out there. We're trying new things in here, trying to get the best product out here for you. And I can tell you, Josh's face right now, he didn't like that comparison. So for
Zach,
those of you just listening.
Zach, what are we doing? We were really close in our camaraderie and teamwork, and then you went there. Do I need the glasses to prove it off? I already got the hair and the beard.
You're halfway there.
And I don't talk about money like he does.
Except
or tell everybody eat on beans and rice and beans. That's a scarcity mindset, and in FCA we operate in abundance.
There you go.
You're Am I wrong?
You're so right.
Okay.
You're twice the man.
I don't even know who Dave Ramsey is.
You don't even know who Dave Ramsey is?
No.
All right, everybody, listen to the podcast. We have a lot of education to do here. So we keep it 100% real, 100% of the time. Zach feels like, I don't know what he feels like. But,
I'm so sorry.
I thought he was going to tell me I look like Garth Brooks and
that too.
Chris Gaines.
Yeah.
Over here at the headset mic, but I feel like every sports announcer in the press box, and this is great. I don't have to be stuck to a solitary place, and everybody can see my full face and all those things. So
you're glowing. You look fresh.
I feel great. I feel like Zach Rose whenever it's time to come on, just a brand new, whole new man. Right. It's great. We don't have to hide anymore. The real Josh is out. I don't even know what that means, but we're so glad that everybody's here. We just did a challenge with their Central Arkansas East team to work through our to write out our vision and our mission and our core values and all that. And for those of you who don't know, our vision in FCA is to see the world transformed by Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes, and we do that through our mission, which is to lead every coach and athlete to a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and His church. And so around 4 core values of integrity and teamwork and serving and excellence. But for us, in order for us to reach every coach and athlete, we have to have people on staff that mirror every coach and athlete. So like I said before, we're very heavy on male presence and talking to male athletes and male coaches, but we need more females involved. So if you're a mom at home, if you are a stay-at-home mom, if you're a woman in the business world and you want to reinvest, and if sports was big in your life as a teenager, or maybe you're a former college athlete and you've had an understanding of who Jesus is and the faith in Christ and the importance that it plays in a teenager's life and the importance that it plays in a female coach's life, and you're interested in serving and getting plugged in, we would love to talk with you. Claire would love to have a conversation with you about what it could look like for you to come alongside of us to be what we consider a mobilized volunteer, someone who's done a background check and has been trained by FCA to come on campus to walk alongside female coaches and get inside of girls' locker rooms and share the hope of Jesus and help them navigate all the life. How do I say this as a girl dad? all the since I have 4 daughters. Sorry for stealing your thunder, Claire, but I'll let you say better what all we're saying. But the issues that girls go through are not the same that guys go through, and we want to engage, equip, and empower female athletes in the same way. So, anything you want to say or add to that, or what's your spiel for women's sports or women's getting involved in Fellowship of Christian Athletes?
Yeah, I think it's super important. Like you said, FCA has been male dominated since the beginning, really since it started 71 years ago. But it's been cool to see how like women are stepping into the call to do ministry, and that like children's ministry isn't important. It's so important, but we can do this stuff too. We can be a presence in sports and be competitive, but also be feminine at the same time.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the world puts like, oh, if you're too athletic, you can't be feminine too. But it's been so cool, especially I live in Benton, but just to see.
Oh, you live where?
Benton?
Benton?
No, they say Benton down there.
Oh, they say Benton. Like you've been bitten?
Yep.
Wow. But with an N before the T.
Yep. Don't say Benton. You get roasted like I did all the time.
Why did you get roasted?
Because I
am not from here.
I am not from Arkansas, from Illinois. Moved down here 2 years ago, actually this month. So I have a Midwestern accent, just like Zach.
Let's go.
So on this side is the South, and on that side's the North. So on this side of the desk, and while we're talking, Zach asked, "Where do you want to sit?" I'm like, "I want to sit on this side because I don't." Y'all hold down that side.
For brief context, too, if anyone doesn't know, Claire and I both grew up in Illinois.
Yep.
Grew up our whole lives in Illinois, and then we both moved to Springfield, Missouri. We didn't know each other until we came to Arkansas.
Went to school right down the street from each other.
Like 5 to 10 minutes from each other, and then both moved to Arkansas within a year or two of each other too. So
I do think it's funny that Arkansas people call Illinois like the North.
Yeah.
We're just like the Midwest. Yeah. Like it's so I don't know. I always think that's funny. Like we're really not the North. We're just Midwest.
In terms of the Civil War in history, y'all were the North.
Okay, well, you're right, but
there's this thing called the Mason-Dixon line, and everything to the north of that was Union, and to the south was Confederate. History lesson for those of y'all who didn't know. I mean, it's just the world we live in.
Wow.
Dave Ramsey.
Sorry, I'll be done.
Wow.
I'll be done. I do have a question though before you continue on your spiel. Do you feel like you started to talk with any kind of Southern draw since you've been here?
I feel like I don't hear it, but when I have gone back home and visited with like the FCA staff that I grew up with, they were all like, "Claire, you have a twang in your voice." Or when I was recently in Kansas City, our headquarters with a bunch of college students, we had a couple kids there from California, and they were all like, "Claire, you have an accent." And I was like, "I don't hear it.
I don't know what you're talking about."
I was, yeah.
Except
I don't think
when you say Benin. I can't even say that. Ben. I can't say it.
Ben. Saline County.
Saline County.
Yeah.
Just say that. Yeah. Not saline, Saline.
We've learned.
Also got roasted on that one.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. But that's just your real self. And that's all we're asking people to do on campus is just be their real self.
Exactly.
And you learn over time. They learn about you. You learn about them. You pick up common language and mindset and philosophy. So get back to Call to Women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big loop.
That was such a huge
We're back.
loop.
We're back.
Here we go.
Bring you back in. We'll talk about your calling and how you got here in a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah. I just love being present with all the female athletes and coaches. I believe I was the first female staff in the Saline County area. So that was just a huge half of creation missed for so long. Because like you said, Josh, like there are things that men cannot talk to girls about, and they're, vice versa. Like sometimes you just need woman to woman talks, about certain struggles that we have, or even anything like that. But I just love kids, and I love working with the athletes, and especially the female coaches. I just, I don't know. They all have a special place in my heart. And I had really strong FCA, like female leaders growing up when I was in FCA back in Illinois. And I think they've inspired me a lot of just like, they're just so cool, and they're so confident in who they are, and they just walk on the campus I don't know, so confident.
That's
Just
awesome.
It's amazing. So I think I really draw a lot of that from what I just saw growing up, and just taking it here, and everyone's so receptive and loving, and they're just excited that someone cares about them and loves them and just wants to support them. So yeah,
that's phenomenal. It's so good to hear. It's encouraging.
How have you seen or maybe heard of kind of the difference of maybe not just you, but like female impact on campus? What does that look like? Like when you talk to Kaysen, your area director, or anyone around, like, do you feel like there really has been a switch that's been flipped as you've been able to step on campus as a female, talking to females, or just generally?
I think so. I think I do work a lot in the Bryant School District, and I feel like there has been a kind of a shift because before, we only had male area directors, and like there's you can only go so far. But I feel like this one team specifically that I work with, and this one coach, her name's Melissa Bragg. She's the 9th grade coach at Bryant Junior High, but we've had some like deep conversations with her team over the past 2 years, going on to year 3. I think just breeding that authenticity and vulnerability amongst girls. And I think it's starting to trickle out into the Bryant Junior High, where girls are just being more honest and vulnerable. Junior high is hard. That's a hard age, especially these days. So I think that is just like that, going that next step. Like, it's not surface level conversation anymore. It's like, we're going deep. And I think I've really seen that at the junior high, even at the high school too. There's quite a few girls that I've really got to see grow over the past 2 years. And I don't know, they're just taking their faith out and they're being more confident and bold. And I don't know if that answers your question, but I think I have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Definitely. That's good.
So how did you get here from Illinois to Central Arkansas?
I think it's a funny story, but my family has vacationed in Mountain Home, Arkansas my entire life. Like, I was born in March. I was on the water. There's a lake there. Memorial Day weekend in May. So I kind of grew up there.
Wow.
Always grew up going to Arkansas. That was like, we never went to the beach or anything. We came to Arkansas for vacation. So I kind of fell in love with the state of Arkansas from a pretty young age. Just loved the beauty of it and everything. But like Zach said, I went to school in Springfield, Missouri. And it was my senior year. Yeah, my senior year of school. And I kind of was hitting that. I was really starting to get nervous about what I was going to do because I was studying biology. I wanted to be a doctor. And the Lord was like, you're not doing that. And I was like, but what else am I going to do? I have no idea what I'm going to do. Literally, I've worked my butt off for the past 3.5 years to do this. Like, what? And so I was like, I remember just sitting in my room one day. I was home on Christmas break, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I just had this thought. I realized now it was the Holy Spirit, but they were like, what about FCA? And I was like, oh, okay. So I went onto the FCA website, but I knew I didn't want to go on staff in the St. Louis area. I knew I wanted to leave Illinois. I knew I just wanted to push myself to be uncomfortable. And I knew I wanted to live in Arkansas. So I typed in Mountain Home just to see for some reason if there would be FCA there. And there was an opening in Mountain Home. And I was like, score, can live at the lake house. Literally, this is the best ever. Don't got to pay no rent or,
Yeah.
Literally just a dream. So I applied and I didn't hear anything for like a week. And I was like, well, I really want to make sure I work for FCA. So I'm going to go back. I went back onto the website and the next one underneath was Benton, Arkansas. Never heard of it. Never been there. Literally didn't even know where it was. But I just saw that they were looking for an area rep. And I said, okay, I'm going to apply just to like have that cushion job. And the next day, the area director at the time called me. He said, did you mean to apply for this job? I see that you're from Illinois. I was like, oh yeah, no, I meant to. Like, classic. I'm serious.
You did the same thing with me.
There we go.
Yeah. He was like, well, I also see that you applied for the Mountain Home job. He was like, do you like have a preference? And I was like, yeah, I'd really prefer Mountain Home. I have family there, that. I know the area really well. And he said, well, I'm going to call up there and see what the deal is. And then he called a couple days later and said they actually had already filled that role. They forgot to take it off. But he was like, we'll take you. We'll take you. He was like, we've been praying for 3 years for a female to apply and come on staff. And he was like, I think you're our answered prayer. And I said, okay. Didn't know what I was getting myself into, but that's kind of how I got here.
That's awesome.
Really just on a whim. and I moved 6 hours away, and I didn't know anyone. So
moved to a foreign land.
Yes, the South. Yeah.
Is it bad?
No, I love it. I'm very grateful that I ended up in Bend, not Mountain Home. I've come to realize. So love Mountain Home, but there's a little bit more going on down here than up in Mountain Home.
Sure.
So
yeah.
So you kind of just breezed over it, but talk about that for a second. You went to school to study biology, and what was that time like for you of getting close to graduation, getting close to the end, and all of a sudden you're like, well, what did that process look like for you? Tell me a little bit about like the calling behind that. Why FCA? Like why pursue that with your life?
Yeah. It's kind of funny. So I went to Drury University, and I ran cross country and track there for a few years. And not gonna lie, those were the hardest 2 years being a collegiate athlete. It was super hard on my mental health, and all my relationship with Christ too.
Whoa! I missed that. You went to Drury and did what?
I ran cross country and track.
Wow, that's special.
Yeah, it was super.
Like without a ball involved at all, you just ran.
Yeah, just ran.
I couldn't do that.
It was a lot, like 50-mile weeks.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Jeez.
Wow,
it was a lot.
You still run?
I do. Yeah, I have a half marathon in November.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. Oh, you're good.
Drury cross country track.
Yeah.
Back on.
I feel like I need to give a little backstory, but the 4 years of school, like I'll just tell you, like I struggled a lot with mental health, like I said, and suicidal ideation and thoughts. So I think that kind of going in, like I had always struggled with anxiety and depression since I was a little kid, but it really kind of ruminated into that started when I was 16, and then it kind of kept going on until college. So everything kind of changed for me in this calling. I was 21, and I really dedicated my life back to the Lord. Didn't struggle with suicide after that day, but after that, I was just like, my life is different now. Like so it kind of started when I was 20, like end of my junior year, but I just kind of kept pushing that call down because I was like, I cannot do like I can't not be a doctor. Like I've been telling everyone my entire life I've wanted to be a doctor since I was in the 5th grade. Like I didn't want to live down those expectations that really no one had set on me but myself. Like I had set these high expectations, but I wanted to be a doctor. And then came into it. And then I kind of again, I was that last semester, I really was like, FCA was just always there for me. The staff was always there for me, and I was always getting called to be a huddle leader back at camps. And I always loved talking to the staff and just seeing like what they did day to day. And the fact that they could just like do camps for their job was so intriguing to me. I'd been a part of FCA since I was 15, and it was just so cool. Like I just remember thinking, I was like, this would be an amazing job. Like, actually one of my cross country coaches in high school is on staff in the St. Louis area. And I remember like talking to him all the time. And I was like, Nick, like, do you regret it? Like, do you love what you do? And he was like, yes, I can't imagine doing anything else in my life. And I just remember kind of having that conversation, and the light switch kind of flipped on. I was like, well, maybe FCA is like what I'm meant to do. I've always loved it. It's a huge part of my testimony and everything like that. But I even think I had the calling to ministry since I was a kid, actually. It's just, like I said, it's something I've always pushed down. When I was in probably like 5th or 6th grade, I used to always joke with my class that I wanted to become a nun, like hardcore wanted to be a nun. Like I loved Sister Act, wanted to be Whoopi Goldberg.
That's what I was going to say. There had to have been a movie, like Sound of Music or something like that.
Yeah,
like
no, Sister Act, Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay,
but
I got you.
I would always joke with everyone.
So can you sing?
No.
Oh.
But I don't know why, but just how cool she was.
So
and
you couldn't sing, and you didn't know what celibacy was, but you wanted to be a nun.
Yeah, I wanted to be a nun.
All right, dreams as a kid. There we go.
But I wanted to be a nun. But in the back of my head, I would, even though I would joke with everyone, they were like, "You're not actually gonna become a nun." I'd be like, "No." But there was a little piece in the back of my head that was like, "Well, what would what if?" There's always the what if. So like I kind of considered it, But I think it's just a cool full circle moment of just like how the Lord. I'm not a nun, but I work in ministry and like, I give my life to. So I think I I felt the calling from a very young age. I just pushed it down because I didn't want it to be true,
Mm.
and I wanted my way over God's way in my life. So long story, long
No,
answer.
that's great.
but
That's why we're
kind of
here, is
it.
to help share your story and get the word out about who Claire is and the ministry impact and all those. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's cool. So you go from Illinois to Missouri to then Arkansas. How was that transition for you moving to the state of Arkansas from a non Southerner's perspective? How was that transition for you, being in the schools, being around people, interacting with people?
Yeah, it was. I'm gonna be completely transparent. It was hard. I had a really hard first year living here. And I think a lot of people go through that once they graduate from college. I think it's just like that transition into adulthood, but also being on your own for the first time. And for me, like I said, I moved away from my family. I didn't know anyone here, didn't know the schools. The schools here are so different than what I have ever experienced in Missouri or Illinois. So it was definitely a little challenging, but there were always just little moments of hope and stuff like that. Like when Melissa Bragg, I always brag on her, but
I knew that was coming at some point. I almost said it earlier.
I know it's so
Very
good.
good.
But she truly is like,
It was an easy play on words. Sorry.
Preacher's kid.
Can't, yeah, I'm turning into my dad. Oh goodness. Sorry. Continue, please.
You're okay.
There you go. Back at you.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, I met her within like the first month of being here, and she kind of became my go-to person. Like I really got to know her really well, and she helped. Like I got to work with her team for quite a few months, and then she started introducing me to other coaches. So I would say it was hard, very, very hard, but there was just moments where God showed up and was like, you're meant to be here. Like your presence is wanted and needed. And yeah, so
definitely.
Yeah.
What would you say are the biggest differences between maybe the schools that you grew up in and what it's like here in Arkansas?
Yeah. I guess I have a very different, I went to a Catholic high school. I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to 12th grade.
That where the nun thing came in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
I had
Yeah,
a nun,
yeah.
I
I'm
had a
with you now.
non-Spanish teacher,
Wow.
She called me stupid in front of the whole class.
In
Typical-
English or in Spanish?
In English too.
Okay.
Brutal. You could at least say it in Spanish so I learned something.
Rough crowd.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question? I got lost track.
Oh, that's incredible. Could have at least said it in Spanish so I could have learned something. That's great. The question was what are some of the differences in the schools that you grew up in versus where you're at now?
Oh, yeah. Schools, they're just massive down here. Like Bryant is a college campus. Like their college campuses like set up almost. They're massive. Very, I don't know, like the fact that kids have to like walk out of one building to go to another building to get to a different class just blows my mind. Just as a one building high school, like just, the hardest part was like, oh no, I have a class on the third floor. I got rushed down to the first floor really quickly. Like my graduating class had 82 kids. So I think that was a huge transition, but also it was kind of cool to see how, I think everyone was open to FCA back home or like having churches come in and stuff like that, but it was very like guarded. I would say there was a kind of a little bit of a process, I would say, to get that going. We're down here, it's been so cool. Like so many coaches and administration, like they're just like, come on, please. Like we want you here. Please come. Like sometimes begging, like we want FCA here. We want Christ to be known here. So I think that's been very cool to see, just kind of like that open.
Yeah.
But also like the youth pastors, like how cool, like I don't know how it is for you guys, but in Saline County, like we have great youth pastors who want to be involved. And they all are cheering on for each other. It's not a competition. So I'd say that's pretty cool just to even see that in the culture of Saline County, but like how much they love the schools too. And the schools love them. So I'd say that's a big difference.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned something that I've dealt with in my own life, moving from Illinois to Arkansas. It was this thought of, okay, Lord, why am I here? Why am I needed here in Arkansas? Like, there's already, Arkansas is one of the more dense states when it comes to FCA staff. There's already quite a few FCA staff in the state of Arkansas, and I was challenged with that when I came on staff. Like, okay, Lord, you've placed me here for a reason. I know I'm supposed to be here, but why is that? And I think it's fun to sit back and, yes, look at the process of how you got here, but then think through, okay, what impact do you want to do through me now, Lord? And what are the ways that you want to move in and through my life so that these coaches and athletes can be reached? And I think the beautiful part of that is, like, we bring different perspective. Like, ministry is unique. The kingdom of God is full of diverse people, diverse looks, diverse thought processes, diverse home lives. Like, there's so many things that are like, if everyone on FCA staff in Arkansas was from Arkansas, then there would automatically be a certain way that a lot of them did ministry. And I would say the same thing for any other state too,
right,
and any other area of ministry. It's like, if the youth pastors were only just pastors' kids that grew up in the church, then ministry would only look one way. And I think that's such a beautiful thing of, like, the Lord directs our steps, and there's purpose and there's a reason for them, to where we get to that point of, you know what, like, Lord saying, Claire, you know what, I've equipped you for this time and for this moment. And like, Benton is exactly, I said it wrong probably, Benton is exactly right where you're supposed to be and right where you're needed in this community. I think it's so cool. Even just that story you told of, like, they've been praying for 3 years for a female rep to come on, and sure enough, like, right on time, as only God can do, right on time every time he shows up. So I just think that's really cool. I love diverse views of ministry and the ways that we do it and pursue people. I know I love just listening to Josh, because you think differently than any person that I've ever sat with and processed and talked to. So, yeah.
Crazy preachers' kids think differently sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So, appreciate you saying that about me. I don't know why, but just
I got to make.
I don't even know what to say right now. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you filling up my cup, so I can pour into Claire here. So it goes from one to the other and everywhere else. So you talked about ministries different. You're in Benton and school campuses and opportunity to speak into teams and locker rooms and huddles and coaches' offices and all that. So if you could lay out, like, 3 big goals or dreams for women's ministry in Central Arkansas, but more specifically in Saline County. This is your opportunity to tell the world, here's some things that God's laid on my heart that I would like to see happen that may not be accomplished if God doesn't step in.
Yeah.
Intimidating God-sized dreams that maybe somebody listening to this would chime in, like, I want to help that. What would they be?
I think one is just to have, not necessarily staff, but a volunteer, an older woman at every single female sport in all 4 of Saline County schools, plus Sheridan. We're technically Saline River area.
Yep.
But I would love, that's a God-sized goal, because we have a lot of teams, a lot of female teams. But
so how many would that be?
Oof. I mean, probably like 100, right? Yeah, at least. Give or take.
All right. So say that one more time. 100 older women.
Yeah, just
older in age, older in maturity. What do you think?
Maturity. Those, like, spiritually mature women who want to pour into the younger generation. Doesn't really. I don't think age matters in this. You know, I think it's just like your spiritual maturity.
Yeah.
And just the desire. Yeah.
So for that to happen, I think about my wife. She'd be like, I don't have the time, or my mom, like, I'm super busy and everything else. So what would be that time commitment, or what could they look forward to spending or investing?
Yeah. I think that's the cool thing about FCA is it's very flexible, and coaches are just happy to have someone there. If that's once a week, that's once every 2 weeks, once a month, once every other month. It doesn't, something on Sunday that my pastor said is, I don't want to add, to your busy schedule, but just fix your schedule to add what's important. If FCA and pouring back to athletes is important to you, you'll find a way. Coaches, like I said, coaches are so cool, and they love just when people come, when the people from the community want to pour into their team and make them better young student athletes. So it could look so many different ways, honestly, whatever fits your schedule.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody explain it like that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's how
So that's one.
Mm-hmm.
You got two more?
I think something that Saline River area that we've been really praying for is just that there would be a female staff person at every school. Right now, it's just me for Bauxite, Harmony Grove, Ben, and Bryant. And then we have another couple. Their names are Scott and Pam Cameron. They actually moved here from Arizona, but they cover the Sheridan schools. But I think it would be amazing to have a staff, like a female staff, male and female, but female at each school, so that way I could really prioritize Bryant and someone else can really prioritize Bauxite. Like they're on an every single day basis, so I think that definitely.
Awesome. 3? Putting you on the spot.
I know. I think just in the whole, maybe in the state of Arkansas, but I would love to see females in leadership in the state of Arkansas. If that's someone moving into a area director role, a woman, or moving into a area director of women's ministry. I don't know, like a leadership for women. I don't think we have a lot of women in leadership in the state of Arkansas. So just that's just a God-sized goal, whatever that looks like, if it's me or someone else. I don't know.
Yeah, if it's not on your radar and you're not aware of it, you can't pray towards it. You can't expect it to be fulfilled or, I appreciate you sharing. That's awesome. So if you're a lady, woman of God listening to this, and you'd like to get involved, you go to Central FCA.org and contacting on the contact form, type in women's ministry. Denise Kaufman, who's been on our podcast before, would love to, Claire works with, would love to get in contact if you're in Little Rock area, Pulaski County, but Saline River area, Benton, Bryant, Bauxite, Harmony Grove, Sheridan.
Yes.
Yeah. Claire would love to reach out to you, contact you just to connect and talk face to face and have coffee or breakfast or lunch or Coke. Oftentimes people are like, I just want a Coke at McDonald's. I'm like, I've never been to McDonald's. So, sure. I'd love
request that, just a Coke from McDonald's.
Yeah. I mean, some of the towns we go to, they don't even have a coffee.
You have not had that happen before. There's no way.
The first youth pastor experience I ever had in Stuttgart, Jeremy Prine, if you're listening to this, you can verify. I roll in there, it's February, and I said, hey, I need to meet somebody. And so Alan Greenwood, who we had on the podcast not too long ago, said, I know a youth pastor in Stuttgart. His name's Jeremy Prine. I called Jeremy up, said, hey, Josh Adair with FCA, I want to come talk to you about ministry, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. They said, well, we haven't had the opportunity to be on campus since COVID. This was 2024, last year. 4 years, we haven't had an opportunity to be on campus. I said, great, I'm coming down. Where can we go to breakfast? Taco Bell. Was a breakfast of choice. Yep. It's the only place he ever ate breakfast was Taco Bell. I didn't know Taco Bell served breakfast, but over time, other people were like, hey, can we just go get a Coke at McDonald's? Because their Coke's phenomenal. And I'm like, great, that'd be great. Whatever it takes.
The more you know.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I had no idea. Apparently Coke's because Taco Bell's a Pepsi product.
Wow.
They wanted a Coke.
I would not know that. I'm so glad. You learn something new every day.
Lifelong learners.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's right.
Wow. That's really good.
You never arrive at knowing everything, so.
It's true. To just kind of point at that for a second as you were talking, I was thinking about how a lot of our coaches, and this is kind of a newer thought for me, but if you think about how many coaches there are to how many athletes there are on a team, the athlete to coach ratio, there's not a lot of coaches for how many athletes they've got to wrangle up and teach. And I see it often I never played football, but learning more and more about football, especially at the high school level, I've seen a lot of football played, but I didn't realize how really understaffed they are. Even for schools that have more staff, in a lot of different sports too, not just football, but seeing how like it's so hard to intentionally teach, but also even you think about disciple one-on-one each and every single student, because there's just so many of them compared to the coaches. And I think that's where like I think about the ministry that we do and like being over multiple different campuses. And I think, man, how cool would it be to have a staff member in an area over every single high school, over every single specific smaller area, so we could do more impactful ministry. I'm not saying the ministry we do isn't impactful already, but sometimes we're stretched a little bit thin and our resources are stretched a little bit thin. And we think about like, man, what would it look like if we could be a little bit more intentional, a little bit more direct to be able to help and to be able to serve those coaches in a way of like, hey, I'll be here today, tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. So use me however you need to, but I just want to let you know that I'm in your corner. And not only am I saying that, but I'm going to show up and be present to be in your corner too. So I love that dream and that vision. And I believe that as FCA continues to grow and as Josh tries to take a drink with this microphone on his head, that we'll see more and more FCA staff come on, especially on the female side of it too. So that's really cool. I mean, we're praying that Luke 10:2. Pray to the God.
Matthew 9:38 or Luke 10:2.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That's good stuff. But to kind of transition, we wanted to talk a little bit about your Africa experience, missions. So
Zach's stealing my thunder over here.
I was hoping you transition. That's how I'm giving it.
That was good. That was a good transition.
So a part of Arkansas and the grand scheme of the world, for people who don't know, they're listening, how's FCA ever partnered with International? What does it look like? How are we hoping to fulfill the Great Commission within our ministry? Just for pure knowledge's sake. All across the United States, all the states are broken into 14 regions. 14 regions are partnered with 14 regions around the world. Doesn't mean that that's the only place in the world that we can take mission trips, that we can mobilize students to go to. It's all about the relationships and places that we have. But to help us better execute and fulfill our part of the Great Commission by engaging coaches and athletes all over the world. And our area for our southwest region of Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma is Western Africa. Majority of the countries that we have in Western Africa, we're not even granted access to. It's in the 1040 window, the window that has the most child sex slave traffic through the middle of the Saharan desert. It's heavily invested in Islam, and they don't want Christians there. And that's where we know that we have to get to welcome in the reign of Jesus back to earth, that every nation, tribe, and tongue has a representative in the throne, around the throne room in heaven. Then Jesus will come. So that's our work in FCA, is to get there to Western Africa. Last year, we were able, Central Arkansas East, I was able to host Ernest Solomon from Sierra Leone to come in on a reverse trip. Instead of us going there, we brought him here. He was in the States for some training, and we hosted him for 4 days. He showed up to Cabot Fields of Faith, did school assemblies with us, went to my daughter's soccer games, which he's a soccer coach in Bo, Sierra Leone. He was the women's national soccer team coach for Sierra Leone. So for him to have that expertise and to invest in my daughters was pretty special. And he WhatsApped me and talks to me all the time. How's my soccer star? How's my soccer star? How's my soccer girl? And so that was really cool. But we take trips from time to time to vision trips and to serve with the missionaries and missionary partners that we have in Western Africa here in Arkansas. But there's also another opportunity in FCA called
Global Impact.
Global Impact, that we send college interns or college students to other countries around the world. And Claire got to go as a shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, shepherd for some college students for an extended amount of time this past summer to a country that I'm fond of, that I've spent I've been to 4 different times, and I just love the people, love the heart. And Claire got to go. She has a heart for the nations, a heart for the world. So I want to ask that first. How did you develop or recognize that you had a heart for the world, a heart for the nations?
Funny enough, I have been to South Africa before. My best friend from college is from South Africa, and we were roommates for 3.5 years. So I really got to experience South African culture firsthand by just living with a South African. But in December of 2021 into January 2022, I spent 6 weeks there with Jamie. That's her name. But honestly, I didn't go there for missions or anything. I was not really following the Lord super closely at that time. I was there to have a good time. But I remember I really got to experience true South African culture. But I remember it's funny how the Lord works when we're not really expecting him to, but he kind of stirred in my heart when I was there that first time. I remember talking to Jamie, and she was telling me about just the sport culture in South Africa. And, she was like, yeah, I mean, sports are massive. They're huge there. They're very, very pushed. I think she even said, like, at the school that she goes to, or like her town that she lives in, like, it's required. Like, if you are in school, you are playing a sport. And I just remember, yeah, like it's a requirement, like you have to be doing a sport. You have to be physically active. And I remember thinking, well, FCA would do really great here then. Like, what a cool opportunity for FCA to have, I didn't know if FCA was global at that point. I wasn't really super informed, but I was like, FCA would be like, this is so cool. Like, what an opportunity. Like, these kids have to do a sport. Why not teach them about Jesus and like, hey, know that they can glorify the Lord through it, just thinking of that. And so I think it was there, like the Lord put my heart for South Africa specifically. But he knew my heart. He knows my heart, but he knew I wasn't ready to go back for a mission. So I actually prayed for 4 years to go back to South Africa on missions. And I remember each summer I was like, is it this time? Can I go yet? Can I go yet?
Yeah.
Because I was ready to go, but my heart needed some mending and fixing first. But that's kind of how it happened. I just kind of was like, I was just so drawn to it. There was something sometimes I can't put my finger on it. It was just South Africa specifically. Like, I want to go back there and do missions. So
then you got open the door.
Yeah.
Provided the opportunity through Fellowship of Christian Athletes. You applied, and tell us a little bit about that process and the heartbeat behind Global Impact.
Yeah, it was so cool. I was excited to even be able to go because technically you're supposed to be 25 to be a shepherd, but I was only 23. And the fact that I was able to even go is just a blessing. This shows the Lord's faithfulness and, my heart. Like, I was able to go even though I'm not the technical age restriction or anything or whatever. But the whole process was just amazing. Like you said, we had college students from all over the country, the U.S., and we had some African interns. We had 2 students from Botswana, 1 from Ghana, 2 from Kenya, and we were supposed to have a student from Uganda, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. But like, that process was just really cool, getting to know all these students from very different places of the world. We had quite a few from California. We had 1 from Oklahoma. Actually, it was Lisa Bott's son who's in Oklahoma. Yeah. What else? I think a lot. Yeah. And then last minute, we had a trip that was supposed to go to India, but it got canceled because of the conflicts going on over there. So we added 4 students last minute, 2 weeks before we were supposed to leave. So that was, I remember thinking, I was like, oh man, is this going to change the dynamic? Like, I mean, it definitely did, but it was so good. Like, I'm so glad they were able to come. But it was just amazing just learning about the heart for the nations and really dissecting what the great commandment is, like going out to all nations, tribes, tongues. Like, we really dissected really what that meant and how we see that God is a heart for the nations from all the way from Genesis to Revelation. Like, it's not just like a one-time thing. Like, God is the God of the nations.
That's
like
right.
We see that in the from every single book of the Bible, we can see that. So that was a lot of the prep of just like really showing these college students. It really worked on my heart too, of like, this is what it means to be a Christian. And I don't know, maybe this might be a hot take, but I think every single Christian should go on a mission trip, even if it's outside of your state. You have to experience God somewhere else, like outside of your bubble. I know that's but
No,
I just
It's not a hot take for me.
You have to
I've got in trouble in church before, standing up and preaching and said that every member of the church needs to go apply for their passport right now. Because you can't believe in the Great Commission if you just stay at home.
Yeah. You have to experience
just
God
having a passport,
somewhere.
though, invites the opportunity. A lot of people, I invite them on international mission trips. I don't have a passport. Do you believe the Bible? Yeah, we get a passport. Bottom line. Because if you don't, then you're immediately telling God no without actually telling God no.
Yeah.
So hot take. Whatever. Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, but that's
Dave Ramsey over here. Not really. Josh Adair over here. I don't care what you say. It is what it is, and we're moving on. So
yeah.
You can give me your opinion. You're probably wrong. Not really. Just kidding. No, but in all seriousness, to fulfill the Great Commission and to take the gospel to the nations, if you want to do that, then you have to. The easiest step to do is just to apply for a passport and go like that. For some people, that's enough of a step of faith.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, God, where you're leading, but I know I have to do this first. And there's every excuse in the book not to get one. A lot of people have it for vacation, but they don't think about tagging on a day or two or a little bit of free time while they're on vacation to partner up with the ministry and where they're already going. But that's an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it was just so cool.
I'm on your side.
Yeah. Or even just becoming more aware of what the 1040 window is. I had heard of the 1040 window. I think most Christians probably have. I don't know.
What does 1040 have to do with for people that don't know?
Like you said, like the 1040, it's that region, the coordinates, right? Is that like longitude, latitude, the area of, the world where Christianity is basically non-existent.
10 degrees above the equator.
Yep.
40 degrees below the equator.
What Josh said.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. But it's, where religions like Buddhism, Hindu, Muslim, those are the, I guess, popular, dominated religions. But where Christianity is just not it's extinct. But there's this video, I can't remember where it is, but it just really showed like just the sadness and tragedy that goes on in the 1040. I think once you become aware, and even if that first step is praying for the 1040 window, oh my gosh, that's, I think, helping fulfill the Great Commandment is just praying for that. Like that maybe if you're not the one to go to the 1040 window, that someone would be the person to go, praying for that. I don't know, learning more about the 1040 window and just everything like that. That really changed my perspective on a lot of things. So
did they talk to you about the Joshua Project? Do you remember that?
They might have mentioned it briefly, but
if you there's a website called joshuaproject.net, and every day they highlight an unreached or unengaged people group around the world that you can pray for in the 1040 window. There's other great, but if you want to know a people group in a certain country and you want to study a map and you want to geek out and see, say, South Africa or Mozambique, there for a while I was praying about going to Mozambique because there's 4 people groups that I know of that have over 150,000 people where there is 0% Christian influence in them whatsoever. And so if you go to the joshuaproject.net and you can study, you look at different people groups, you can look at the United States and it tells you the percentage, and you can go to other areas of the world and it shows the percentage there also. So yeah, sorry.
Oh, you're good. It was just, I don't know what else.
So you were there so Global Impact is for college students. They're involved in FCA on their campuses.
Yes.
To have the opportunity to invest in all over the world in mission work, to build relationships with coaches and athletes. How long was that time that you were out of the United States?
It was 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so give a commercial, if you would, for Global Impact, or if there's a college student listening who's on college, believes in Jesus, plays a sport. Do they actively have to be involved in a fellowship of Christian athletes huddle on their campus?
I think it helps, but I don't know if you have to necessarily be in leadership or anything, it definitely helps just because what FCA is and we're going with FCA. So it definitely helps, but I don't think it's mandatory or anything. But if there's a college student listening, I think apply for Global Impact if you want to be challenged in your faith. Maybe if you feel like stagnant, you want to be challenged, or if you want to know honestly what it means to do ministry. I know a big part of Global Impact for college students is you fill out this thing called a ministry game plan. You fill it while you're in country, but when you get back, you are actively like doing your game plan when you get back to campus. That's like how you can make an impact, how you're going to do stuff like that. But I recommend it. It really challenges you in all ways, spiritually, mentally, physically. Because when you do missions, especially international, you never know what's going to happen.
Amen.
And it teaches you how to be pliable, go with the flow, but also just really learning how to let the Lord lead in your life, even when you don't know what's going on.
Yep.
It's just kind of having that full trust. So I recommend it. It changed my life. And I know so many of the college students, their lives have been changed forever because of it. And maybe it may fulfill that call to international missions or just, ministry in general. You never know until you go. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you have, as we kind of close up here, do you have a specific story or a singular moment of impact that really broadened your perspective or just gave you a moment to be like, okay, Lord, like I see your heart in this?
Yeah. There's two moments that really come to mind, but I'll share the one. We were walking through this township with a church leader, and we were kind of taking a tour. Townships in South Africa, for those who don't know, are just where poor communities live. The housing there is very heartbreaking to see. They're shacks basically on top of each other, literally like aluminum siding, or I don't know what sheet metal is what a house can be made of with tires holding it together. Just very, very heartbreaking to see, especially here in America. But we were walking around and I remember taking it all in, and soccer is very, very big there. So as we were walking, we came upon this just group of kids. Probably there was like 20 kids just playing soccer in the street.
Do they have a soccer ball?
They did.
Yeah.
But for those,
most of the time they don't.
No, sometimes they'll take grocery bags and tie them together really tight until it's big enough to be a soccer ball. So they did have a soccer ball. It was very worn out, but we kind of come up upon this group and we just kind of stand and watch for a little bit because it was just really cool just to watch. And then the youth leader or the church leader goes over to the group because he spoke Xhosa, and the boys were like, I guess he came back and said, the boys want to play with some of you. They want to play soccer with you guys. And we had quite a few college soccer players, and they were like, okay. So people who did not speak Xhosa, obviously everyone in our group spoke English only, but they started just playing soccer. They formed into teams. And it actually brought tears to my eyes because I truly got to see sports being a universal language. And it brought cultures together, and there was so much laughter and excitement, and just like I said, no one could communicate with each other. No one knew what the other person was saying, but the way that they were able to communicate through sport, pass it and score, and they would cheer each other on. It was just, it literally brought me to tears, because I think we say that here in the States, oh yeah, sports brings people together, but does it really? Sometimes I have to ask that question. But here I saw it in a different country. It does. Jesus is a universal language, but sports are a universal language too. And I think, I don't know, that was probably the moment where I was like, okay, Lord, FCA is important, what we do. Sports are important. It's an avenue for you. So yeah, I think that was a big moment for me.
It's phenomenal. Goes back to our vision to see the world transformed by Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes. Games we play, and things that we do, and here and far away and everywhere. So, Claire, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for your heart, for ministry, your vision for women in ministry, and the opportunity that you do to make an impact in the Saline River area. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Absolutely. So that wraps up our time here with the Beyond the Huddle FCA Central Arkansas podcast, where faith meets competition. Y'all have a great week. Talk to you later.